Hello and welcome back to Retro Break. What an amazing Nintendo Direct. I can honestly say that was one of the best ones that they have ever put on, ever, during E3. Absolutely amazing. I was amazed at the amount of games that I'm actually interested in. Unlike a lot of the other conferences where maybe I can pick out one or two games from the whole show that I'm interested in, I was making a list here of all the games that I wanted to talk about from the Nintendo Direct, and it's pretty much every single one of them. So I'm not going to make this video too long, I'm just going to jump straight right in. The first thing they showed off was Dragon Quest characters from Dragon Quest XI in Super Smash Bros., which is amazing. I haven't played Dragon Quest XI yet either, so I'm very excited to get it on the Switch, and it is so cool that you can actually switch to the 16-bit style gameplay. I just think that's an amazing feature. I know it was in Japan on the 3DS version, but it's great that we get it here on the Switch. I think I might end up playing through that game twice, once to experience it in the realistic graphics and once to experience it in 16-bit, because I absolutely love that style. Right, next one here I have on my list is Luigi's Mansion 3. Doesn't have a subtitle unlike Dark Moon on the 3DS. The game itself looks amazing though. I really love the new graphics that they've gone for with this game. It's a really nice, like an overhaul of the GameCube original, which was one of my favourite games on the GameCube, so I'm very excited to play Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Nintendo Switch. I love the fact that it's back in one big mansion by the looks of it, and it's got a separate multiplayer skyscraper kind of thing as well on the side, so really looking forward to that. Now I'm not going to go through every single game that they showed here, so I'm not going to talk about the Netflix game that they showed after this, but obviously if you want you can go back and watch the Direct. So the next one I'm going to be talking about here is Link's Awakening for the Switch, which is another game that I'm very much looking forward to because Link's Awakening on the Game Boy was one of my favourite Game Boy games of all time. If you saw my top 15 Game Boy Color games, you'll know I placed it very high in the list, and of course I'm very much excited to play the remake that's coming soon. I'm not a huge fan of the way they've done the graphics, making it look kind of plastic kind of looking, but apart from that, the game is amazing, and I'm very jealous of anyone playing the game who's never played the original, because it is a fantastic game and a fantastic Zelda experience. The next one here, and this got me very excited for two reasons. The first reason is the fact that they showed off what I thought at the time was a brand new Mana game, but it actually turns out to be a 3D remake and a brand new game in the Mana series for us in the UK, because Seiken Densetsu 2 or Secret of Mana 3, I think that's what they're called anyway, maybe it's Seiken Densetsu 3, I've got it up there on the shelf somewhere. Yes, here it is. It is Seiken Densetsu 3. It came out in Japan on the Super Famicom, but it never got an English version until now, because the Secret of Mana collection is coming out officially in the UK, and it's going to have English language versions of all three of the games. So I'm very excited to be able to play this one in English on the Switch, and I'm also extremely excited for the 3D remake that they showed as well. It looks fantastic. Next up was The Witcher 3, and it's just amazing that a game of that size and scale can be played on a handheld. I've never played any of the Witcher games before, but I hear they're really good, so maybe this is the time that I'll jump in and give Witcher 3 a try. And after that they showed off a bit more of Fire Emblem Three Houses. I've never been a huge Fire Emblem fan, but I do enjoy the series. I just found it very hard to get into compared to Advance Wars, which is a strategy series that I'm a lot more familiar with, but I'm very excited to try out the new one on the Switch. I always hear they have really good stories to go along with the game as well. That's something I'm always excited about when I go to start playing a Fire Emblem game, but I just never stick with the games long enough for the story to actually kick in, so maybe this time it'll be a bit different. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on the Fire Emblem series. And the next one here, they announced this one in kind of a weird way. This is Resident Evil 5 and 6 coming to Nintendo Switch, which is fantastic. I loved playing both of them games on the PS3 in multiplayer, so it's great to be able to play them again on a handheld. I think 5 is a little bit better than 6, but I do enjoy both the games. And after that, this was a very surprise announcement. This is No More Heroes 3. A proper No More Hero game, finally. Not like that weird top-down one that was released last year. Travis Strikes Back or Travis Strikes Again. I never actually finished that one, but I did finish the first two games on the Wii, and I thought they were fantastic action games, and I'm really looking forward to playing the third proper No More Heroes game. It looks really good as well. And after that, I didn't quite know what this game was at first, but I think towards the end of the trailer I kind of clicked. it is a brand new Contra game. I don't know whether it's been shown off before or not, but I'd never seen it personally, so I'm very excited to get that. I love the Contra series, which is even better because the Contra collection is coming out, as far as I know, today on the Switch. So I'll definitely be downloading that later. I absolutely love the Contra games, especially the Contra game for the SNES, and I've never actually played the Mega Drive one before, so that's one I'm very much looking forward to trying out later tonight. Now, this game, the next game on the list, Daemon X Machina, or Demon X Machina, as I've come to know that it's supposed to be pronounced, even though it's spelled Damon, it's actually some sort of old style way of saying demon. So Demon X Machina, they showed it off last year at E3 and they released a demo, which I thought wasn't great, but it seems like they've taken a lot of the feedback and criticism from that demo and turned it into a much better game. This new trailer that they showed off today looks so much better, it looks so much faster, and I can't wait for the game to come out. It's exactly my style of game. It looks really, really fast and fun. And this next game, this was the highlight of the show for me. That is footage from the remake of Panzer Dragoon, one of my favourite games on the Sega Saturn and one of my favourite Sega series of all time. I'm so excited to be able to play a new game from the Panzer Dragoon series. Really, it just looks absolutely amazing, exactly what I hoped it would be. So I'm really, really looking forward to playing that one. And after that, they showed off a little bit more of Pokemon Sword and Shield, which they're actually playing right now on the Treehouse, which I've got over there, and I'll definitely be watching some more of that later. Of course, I'm very much looking forward to Sword and Shield. It looks like a big step up from Sun and Moon, which was the games that came before it. Let me know in the comments if you're a Pokemon fan, are you looking forward to Sword and Shield, and what is your starter Pokemon going to be? I'm going to go with the monkey, of course, because I love monkeys. And now another game they showed off last year, and one of my most anticipated games of the year, that is Astral Chain, and it had a fantastic trailer. Looks like a crazy game. Of course, it's being made by Platinum, so why wouldn't it be? Really, really looking forward to it. I remember last year I actually thought it was a new Xenoblade game, and unfortunately they didn't show off a Xenoblade game at this year's E3, but I think this game will hold me over until a new one does come out. And I thought this was the end of the conference, but it wasn't, and this was the game that everyone's been waiting for. They finally showed it off, Animal Crossing for the Switch. It looks brilliant. It looks exactly what I thought it would look like, which is just a higher res version of the 3DS game. But that is just perfect for the kind of game that it is, and I know that Animal Crossing fans are just going to be losing their minds after they saw that. It looks really nice. I love the fact that you get to go around the island with loads of different friends, and you can put the paths down, and I really can't wait to get back into another Animal Crossing game. It's refreshing to see a good Animal Crossing game on consoles after the abomination that was Amiibo Festival on the Wii U. And it's actually out on my birthday next year, so I'm really looking forward to that one, and I won't have to pay for it, even better. And then they kind of went into a bit of a show reel of a lot more Switch games that were coming out soon, and I did manage to write them all down, and I've picked out just a few that were really exciting to me personally, starting with Spyro Trilogy coming to the Switch. We all knew it would. It's taken a long time to come out, but it's finally coming out on the Switch. I loved playing it on the PS4 earlier in the year. In fact, I haven't actually finished it, and I probably won't now. I'll probably wait for the Switch version and play through Spyro 3 on the Switch. One of my favourite Spyro games, and it's great that it's finally coming out. And I managed to pick out just a few more from this. Ni no Kuni is a game that I've got on the PS3, but I've never actually played it at all. And I hear it's really, really good. Unfortunately, the Switch isn't getting the full remastered version that the PS4 is, so I might need to decide whether I get it on the PS4 or get it on the Switch. I'll probably end up getting it for the Switch just because of the convenience of having it on the go. It's a lot better to play an RPG like that when you can just dip in and out of it. As another surprise announcement that they snuck in, one of my favourite games on the PS3 and 4 from the last generation, Alien Isolation. I would really like that game for PSVR, but having a Switch port is just as good. Kind of, maybe not. I would really love to have a VR version of that game. If you're listening, Sega, or whoever made the Alien Isolation game, make a VR version, it would be amazing. And they also showed off Stranger Things 3, and a surprise announcement, which I thought was a Microsoft exclusive. So here's Microsoft and Nintendo being all buddy-buddy. This is Super Lucky's Tale coming to the Nintendo Switch. Of course, that game is a perfect fit for Nintendo fans, so it makes perfect sense to bring it out on the Switch, and I'm sure Microsoft could see just how well Cuphead did when that came out earlier in the year, so to bring over more games that they know Nintendo fans will love just makes perfect sense. And they showed off another little bit of Mario Maker 2, and then I thought that was the end of the Direct, but no. Banjo-Kazooie in Smash. One rumour that actually came true, and I'm sure a lot of people are super excited, myself included. I'm a huge fan of Rare and of Banjo-Kazooie in general, and of Smash Brothers, so really it's the perfect mashup for me. I can't wait to play as the bear and the bird, beating up all of Nintendo's characters. It's going to be fantastic. And now, it actually is the end of the event. They said they had one more secret announcement, and I don't think anyone was expecting this. This was a full-blown sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild. They didn't really show much off. I've actually watched the trailer twice now, and the way they showed it, it seems like a much darker Zelda game, and I think it's a sequel, so I won't ruin it for anyone who hasn't already finished Breath of the Wild, but I'm very excited. I don't expect it to be coming out for a while, but it's definitely cool that it's happening. So there we go, that was Nintendo's Direct conference this year at E3 2019. Let me know what you thought of it, let me know if you're as excited as I am for all the amazing announcements. As I said at the start, I honestly think this is one of the best, if not the best Direct that Nintendo's ever done. I'm so happy, I really can't wait for Panzer Dragoon Remake, that is just mind-blowingly awesome. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Subscribe, of course, because on Friday I'm going to be telling you some of my favourite announcements from the rest of E3. And I've watched all the events now and there is some good stuff mixed in with all the generic shooters. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.